Today I would like to review this book, Typical French, Effective Middle Game Training by Carsten Mueller. The book is by this publisher that I like very much because he puts a bookmark in every book and makes it very easy to know where you stop reading. Instead of trying to fold a page of a book or whatever, that is not really nice. So this is a very nice idea that I like in a chess book, okay? But it's not only this. I like the fact that Carsten Mueller followed this Friedrich Friedel idea of a QR code. What does QR code mean? It means that this book is a book of training, okay? Training about middle game position with questions that are about to stimulate your understanding, evaluation, your growth as chess player. Because this is what you do in the middle of a chess game. You should not only calculate variation, you should ask yourself questions. What is the meaning of this position? What is the meaning of the last move? What my opponent wanted to do? That's the sense of really playing chess. Also, of course, maybe at a certain point we are strong enough, we know some pawn structures, and so we love to play blitz, okay? But with that said, now, the question is, it's wonderful to have these QR codes that you can practically point your phone, and so you don't need a chessboard in reality. Maybe you commute, you like to read a chess book, you like to think. Well, you can think about one of these positions. When you want the answer, you put your phone on the QR code, you point it at the QR code, and boom, it will come out the entire game with the answer that Carsten Mueller thought of. So this is really a great thing because it's a mix of technology and the old ideas of how one should train. But the book starts with a very interesting thing, which is this. This is how you really learn chess, thinking about pawn structures. The pawn structures are the most important thing. And here, from these pawn structures, also if I didn't read all the book, I understood immediately one thing. That, for example, Carsten Mueller was interested in teaching us how to play with pawn structures that were d4 and d5. Of course, my first thought was, okay, but why he didn't address the French exchange? Because that is a possibility in chess. Well, because the French exchange is something that white chooses to make happen. So you understand from these pages that he clearly thought the French exchange wasn't the line you should be playing. Instead, here practically there are all the lines based on the advanced French, on the Winawer, on the Tarrasch. So for those that don't know these terms, it means when you develop the knight on c3, when you develop the knight on e2, or when you just go on e5. So e4, e6, d4, d5, e5. Okay? Then, the good thing here, I will show you a game, because, of course, at move, I think the game that I want to show you is this one, game 18. And luckily I put something in it to remember me. And here we find the exercise at the game 18. Okay? Okay, so 17, 18. Okay? Here probably you can read it. It's why I like it. And this is, you see why I like it. Because he asks you a question. He asks you, which of these moves does not win? So this obliges you to think above and beyond the simple tactical scheme and ideas. You need to actually evaluate the position and decide. what you want to do. And from there, see if you are correct or not. Okay, now I will show you the game. So if you took time to discover which of the four moves is the right one, here is the game. This is also what I like because you can see the game eventually and understand where we are coming from, okay? So there are 23 moves that we are going to play over the board, and they start with e4, e6, d4, d5, e5, c5. Now, this kind of opening and structure has been dealt in the famous manual by Ninkovic, My System. It gives you an idea of how it works. Clearly, this book helps you even more because now we are like 70 or nearly 100 years later, and so a lot of things have changed in the chessboard. We have engines that have proved some of our moves and ideas as wrong, so we need a book like this one to understand what is the latest understanding of this particular pawn structure and how it works. And so this is a fundamental work, in my opinion, for everybody. Okay? Knight f3, bishop e7, bishop e2, knight g e7, castle, knight f5, bishop e3. So this game was played in Germany in 1994. The white player was Jansen and black player Folter. Rook c8, queen b2. So the thing which also hit me was the level of research that the author did, because these games come from a gamut of a very extended period, and so that's quite interesting for me, because it means that probably the author was using this material to teach to his student, and now he finally released it to the biggest chess population. So that's honestly very, very interesting for me. So c takes d4, c takes d4. So here we see the pawn structure. So sometimes, again, like I showed you in the beginning, the fact that he show you the skeleton, you take away all the pieces and you see the pawn structure, that is what teaches you where to attack, okay? Based also on some ideas that some pawn chains you need to attack them at the base, and so on and so forth. Again, it's all middle game, but it's very, very important because, again, you buy a book on the French advance, and then you don't know how to play the middle game. When you get out of the middle game, out of the theory that that book taught you, what are you going to do? That's the part I don't understand. What are you going to do? Bishop e7, knight c3, knight takes e3, f takes e3, very interesting move because he opens a semicolon for the white rook, castle, king h1, knight a5, bishop d3, and knight c4. Queen e2, queen a5, knight d1, b5. So guess what? He's trying to create an outpost that lasts. However, I don't know for how long, because b3 is a consideration, right? So we must try to understand what's going on here. Knight f2. So white is amassing his forces on the king side, b4. So this is a minority attack, probably, is what is considered a minority attack. Knight h3. But this is scary in a sense, because, I don't know, this is the part which doesn't make sense to me. Generally, the goal is to give checkmate, right? And you give checkmate to the king. So this guy is attacking clearly the king side. Now, yes, you may have a good result on the queen side, But if a guy has a mating attack, I don't know, it doesn't make much sense, right? So this is also what you must watch in your games, where the game is actually going. Because here we have 1, 2, 3, they are all pointing at here, no? So it's kind of scary, this thing, in my opinion. And in fact, now after knight h3, black think, oh, maybe I need to return back, okay. Queen d8. And look at white. White is again all obsessed with the king side. Rook f2, a5, rook f1. He has totally left this side. He doesn't care. Do whatever you want. Now let's see who's gonna win this side. Again, a very interesting game. A very interesting example. a4, knight f4, a3, b3, knight b2. Obviously, now try to think for yourself. Do you really want to lose that light square bishop that is attacking here? No. So in reality, after knight b2, you already know what is the next move by white without even thinking. It's bishop b1. But why? Because he wants to kill. He wants to kill this king, right? So it's clear. Queen b6. And here is where the position stop, and is where you had that question, right? You had the question, which of the 4 moves is the one that is not winning, no? Very, very interesting in my opinion. And here the offers varies. However, there are much more drastic examples of the phenomenon of not being able to win a completely winning position without time trouble and without dropping anything. Looking at this one, an expression inevitably comes to mind. Someone can't move because of his strength. In fact, in white's camp, everything that can move is aimed at the opponent's king position, while he solidly while the solidly protected knight b2 on his long-term parking lot can be seen as a symbol for the opponent's pieces pointlessly standing around somewhere. White's problem can be tentatively described as follows. In a queen-bishop battery, the queen is often placed behind the bishop, and therefore in the wrong place. And if his rooks, in the given rooks-knight battery, had been placed on f3 and f4, correctly in front, white would have easily come up with a wealth of winning moves. In view of a move played in the game, that was a mistake, so now I can tell you which one it is. Queen d2 was a mistake. Another saying inevitably comes to mind, and the mountain gave birth to a mouse. In fact, the result was completely open after 24 bishop b5. And the game ended in a draw after another 20 moves. Of course, the queen's sidesteps avoid the loss of material after bishop b5, but wait a moment. Isn't this position a prime example of a specific standard situation? Given the knight on b2, black is basically a piece down. So in terms of material, white can heed another saying and be generous in small things. By the way, it was quite easy to answer the test question correctly without calculating any lines, based solely on the following conclusion. Queen d2 is the only move that does not remove a piece blocking the rook battery, and that deprives the queen of a later fatal sally to h5. So, which one is the winning move in this position? As for the winning move, 24 knight h4 is the most spectacular, even though it's just a sham sacrifice. The mentioned alternatives, knight g1 and knight d2, also win, just less spectacularly. So, this was the right move to play. And how would it continue from this point? Well, here we have 2 continuations. No, in reality there are about 4, I think. Okay, that's interesting. There are 4 continuations. That's interesting. Wow. Okay, let's see them one by one. Okay. So the fourth move is bishop b5. And here we have, boom, the famous sacrifice, the big gift. The position. Queen h5, king g8. And now there is knight f g6. Boom. Wow. F takes g6. Knight g6 leads to mate. And what if black didn't play that move? So let's return back, okay? Okay, I hope I put it back right. So the first move that we said winning is this move, and obviously you ask, hey, wait a minute, why are you not playing this one? I mean, what do you want more than that, right? Well, it would continue with queen h5, h6, queen takes h4, queen d8, queen g4, and now there is queen g5, queen de2 with a threat rook f3 and g3. Yeah? And at this point, white should be winning. Okay, but other two continuations are analyzed here, and I think it's worth seeing them. And of course, it's better maybe you buy the book so you don't get tired of watching endless videos. Yeah, I like it. I like it very much because in any case we have like 2 pages of analysis which prove the point. So that's really great. I would like to point out at another thing. The book has a total of 110 exercises, okay? So you really have to work out through all these exercises. Maybe it could be also interesting just to watch them to make you familiar, and then at another time try to solve them when you feel more familiar or more understood the material. In any case, it's something that you should have in your library because it will surely improve the way you understand what to do in the middle game if you play the French. Okay? I hope you will enjoy this book.